Okay, we are live, so we're out to YouTube.
Alleluia. Alleluia.
Shabbat Shalom and welcome. We are thrilled to have everybody with us on this beautiful, beautiful Shabbat evening. We've had a spectacular day of sunshine and warmth in Erie and a great opportunity to welcome in a almost spring day, right? And so if you're joining us from Erie, you have experienced this beautiful day, and if you are joining us from somewhere else, welcome. We are thrilled to have you celebrating Shabbat with us. We're going to begin as we invite Josie and Lauren to come forward in person as Josie is preparing for her bat mitzvah next month. And she'll lead part of our service this evening, and they will light our Shabbat candles. Thank you. Please have a seat.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu mitzvotav, v'tzivanu להדליק נר של Shabbat.
And we turn together to page 10 as we join in Ma Yafeh Hayom, how beautiful this day is.
Ma yafeh hayom, Shabbat shalom. Ma yafeh hayom, Shabbat shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom.
How wonderful it is as we welcome Shabbat together and we're able to celebrate in this sacred space that we create together online as our services are live streamed. And so we welcome our Shabbat bride into our homes and into our midst on page 20. Lecha Dodi.
Lecha Dodi, Likrat Kala, B'nei Shabbat, Nekavela. Lecha Dodi, Likrat Kala, B'nei Shabbat, Nekavela. Shamor v'zachor v'divar echad, Hishmiyanu el hamyuchad, Adonai echad u'shmo echad, V'shemo tiferet v'litila. Lecha Dodi, Likrat Kala, B'nei Shabbat, Nekavela. Lecha Dodi, Likrat Kala, B'nei Shabbat, Nekavela. Mikrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha, ki mekor habaracha, v'rosh mikerem netzucha, sof ha'aseh b'machshava techila. Lecha Dodi, Likrat Kala, B'nei Shabbat, Nekavela. Lecha Dodi, Likrat Kala, B'nei Shabbat, Nekavela. Boi v'shalom atet bala, gam b'simcha u'b'tzola, tov emunei am segula, boi kala, boi kala. Lecha Dodi, Likrat Kala, B'nei Shabbat, Nekavela. Lecha Dodi, Likrat Kala, B'nei Shabbat, Nekavela.
This evening this Shabbat we'll read the creation of the desert sanctuary and all of its intricacies and its complicated rites and passages. And over the course of Jewish history, Judaism has evolved and changed so significantly. We started in the desert, we arrived in Israel, we built temples, we had the temples destroyed, we went into the diaspora, we built synagogues, we built them in all sorts of different places around the world, and what was the same throughout every experience was the sound of our voices coming together in praise and in song. And so as we turn to page 22, we too reenact that moment that happened in the desert, it happened in the temples, it happened in the shtibel in Eastern Europe, it happened in the grand synagogues of the great cities all over the world. And we sing, Mizmor Shir LeYom HaShabbat. Wow, what a great day to sing a song for Shabbat.
מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני. ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני. ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון. להגיד בבוקר חסדך, אמונתך בלילות, עלי אסור ועלי נבל, עלי היגיון וכינור. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני. ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון.
On page 24, we join in our blessings for peace, that wonderful expression of welcome and of greeting that we say to one another. And we don't just say hello, we don't just say, how you doing? We say, may peace be on you. May your life be filled with the blessings of peace.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Moachem l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzeirchem l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
And we join together on page 26 in Chatzi Kaddish.
Yitkadav, Yitkadav Shmei Rabbah.
Amen.
Ve'almad yivarach Rutei, ve'amlich malchutei. B'chayechon u'b'yamechon u'chayedacho bet Yisrael. Bagala, bagala, u'bizman kariv. Yimeru, Amen. Yehi Shmei Rabbah mevorach, le'alam alam me'amaya. Yitbarach, Yitbarach, v'yishtabach, v'yitba'ar, v'yitromam, v'yitnaseh, v'yitandar, v'yitaleh, v'yitalal, Shmei Dekudashah,
Barechu.
Leila min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, damiran be'alma, imeru, amen.
And we find Baruch on page 28 as we tell each other and we tell God that we're ready to pray. Please rise.
Not used to that
I
anymore.
know.
Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la.
join together in Ma'ariv Aravim, page 30. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidvaro Ma'ariv Aravim, b'chokhmah poteach sha'arim, uvitvuna meshane itim umachalif et hazmanim, umisader et hakochavim, b'mishmerotehem rakia kirtzono. Borei yom v'laylo golel or mipnei choshech v'choshech mipnei or. Uma'avir yom umevi layla, umavdil ben yom uvein layla, Adonai tzvaot shemo. El chai v'kayam, tamid yimloch aleinu leolam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'ma'ariv haravim. As you taught Torah to those whose names I bear, teach me Torah too. Its mystery beckons, yet I struggle with its truth. You meant Torah for me. Did you mean the struggle for me too? Don't let me struggle alone. Help me to understand, to be wise, to listen, to know. Lead me into the mystery. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael.
Ahavat olam med Yisrael, Amcha havta, Torah u'mitzvot, chukim u'mishpatim, otanu limadata, al kein Adonai Eloheinu b'shochbeinu, uvkumeinu nasiach bechukecha, v'nizmach b'divrei Toratecha, uv'mitzvotecha le'olam va'ed, ki hem chayenu, ve'orech yameinu, uvahem negei yomam v'layla, negei yomam v'layla, ve'ahavatcha al tasir, mimenu le'olamim, Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael.
And Josie will lead us in Shema on page 34.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem, Kevod Malchuto, Leolam Va'ed.
And on the following page, we find V'ahavta, and Josie will continue leading us.
V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha, b'chol levavcha uv'chol nafshecha, uv'chol meodecha, v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele, asher anuchi tzavcha, hayom al levavecha, v'shinantam levanecha, v'dibarta bam, b'shivtecha b'techa, uv'lechtecha v'derech, uv'shachtecha uv'kumecha, uv'shartam leot al yadecha, v'hayu letotefot b'neinecha, uv'tavtam al mitzuzot betecha, uv'isharecha, v'man tizkeru, v'asitem et kol mitzvotai, V'hitam kedoshim Elohechem. Ani Adonai Elohechem. Asher Hatzeti Etchem Eretz Mitzrayim Lehiyot Lechem Lelohim. Ani Adonai Elohechem.
Adonai Elohechem Emet. Josie, Yasher Koach, thank you. And on page 39, standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot. That wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt. That there is a better place, a promised land. That the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness. That there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands and marching together.
Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar ba'kodesh, mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar ba'kodesh, Norah tehilot osefele, Norah tehilot osefele, Adonai yimloch leolam va'ed, malchutecha ra'uvanecha, bokei hayam livnei Moshe, Ze'elianu ve'amru, Ze'elianu ve'amru, Adonai yimloch leolam va'ed. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar ba'kodesh, mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar ba'kodesh, Norah tehilot osefele, Norah tehilot osefele, Adonai yimloch leolam va'ed.
Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Adonai, help us to walk with good companions, to live with hope in our hearts and eternity in our thoughts, that we may lie down in peace and rise up, waiting to do your will.
Baruch atah Adonai haborei sukat shalom. Shalom aleinu el kol amo Yisrael. Ve'al Yerushalayim ve'al kol amo. Ve'al Yerushalayim ve'al kol amo. Ve'al Yerushalayim shalom. Baruch atah Adonai haborei sukat shalom. Shalom aleinu el kol amo Yisrael.
Prayer invites God's presence to suffuse our spirits, God's will to prevail in our lives. Prayer may not bring water to parched fields, nor mend a broken bridge, nor rebuild a ruined city. But prayer can water an arid soul, mend a broken heart, and rebuild a weakened will. Adonai sifatai tiftach, ufiagit tehilatecha. Adonai, open our lips, that our mouths can declare your praise.
Adonai, sifatai tiftachu fi agid tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'konei Hakol, V'zocher Chasdei Avot v'Imahot, U'mevig Ula Livnei V'neihem, L'man Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshiach U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'ezrat Sarah. Atah gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechayeh hakol atah Rav Hoshia, Mashiv haruach u'morid hagashem. Mechakel chaim bechesed, Mechayeh hakol barachamim rabim, Zomech noflim verofeh cholim, Umatir asurim, Umekayeh memunato, Lishenei afar, Michamocha bal gevurot, Umido melach, Melech memit umechayeh, Hasmiach Yeshua, B'ne'eman atah lehachayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayeh hakol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, kadoshim b'chol yom yahalu chasela, Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el hakadosh.
Page 53. Days pass and the years vanish, and we walk sightless among miracles. God, fill our eyes with seeing and our minds with knowing. Let there be moments when your presence, like lightning, illumines the darkness in which we walk. Help us to see, wherever we gaze, that the bush burns unconsumed, and we, clay touched by God, will reach out for holiness and exclaim in wonder, how filled with awe is this place, and we didn't know it. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el hakadosh. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day, and may this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat. Ever-present one, may we, your people Israel, be worthy in our deeds and our prayer. Wherever we live, wherever we seek you, in this land, in Zion restored, in all lands, you are our God, whom alone we serve in reverence.
Ritzei Adonai Eloheinu, Be'amecha Yisrael, U'tefilatam be'ahava Tamid avodat Yisrael. Yisrael Amecha. El karov lechol korav penei el avadecha lechaneinu shefach ruchacha aleinu v'techezena einenu Meshuvecha leTzion. Berachamim. Baruch atah Adonai Hamachazir Shechinato LeTzion.
Page 61. Grant us peace, your most precious gift, O eternal source of peace, and give us the will to proclaim its message to all the peoples of the earth. Bless our country as a safeguard of peace and its advocate among the nations. May contentment reign within our borders, health and happiness in our homes. Strengthen the bonds of friendship and fellowship among the inhabitants of every land. Plant virtue in every soul, and may the love of your name hallow every home and every heart. Praised are you, Eternal One, who blesses our people with peace.
Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki ata umelech Adon lecho hashalom. Ki ata umelech Adon lecho hashalom. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. V'tov beinecha levarech et amacha Yisrael bechol עת ובכל שעה משלומך. שלום רב ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. שלום רב ישראל עמך תשים לעולם.
We take a few moments and leave our prayer books aside and turn to the prayers that are in our own hearts and are in our own minds, those private prayers, the ones that we carry with us, those hopes, those dreams, those things we want to ask, those things we want to thank God for.
יהיו לרצון אמרי פי, והגיון ליבי לפניך, אדוני צורי, אדוני צורי, וגואלי, וגואלי.
We turn together to page 253 as we think of all those in our families, our friends, our community, our country, our world, who are struggling with the virus, with the pandemic and all of its associated issues. We think of all those who are medical professionals who work towards healing us and helping us. We think of those who struggle for healing in all variety of ways, whether it's a healing of the mind, the body, the soul, the spirit. And we mention Greg Bennett, Michael Byron, Andrea Kempner Blake, Richard Sharon, Ruth Bostov Coleman, Sandra French, Judith Goldman, Scott Gordon, Patricia Heibel, Michelle Wolf, Molly Wolf, Rebecca Gottlieb, Zachary Jackson, Fred Kern, Carol Love, Dane Marcinowski, Stephanie, Luke, Trey, Abigail, and Charles Nobles, Cheryl Perry, Debbie Perry, Bob Bush, Josh Whitmer's house, Peg Plowski, Fran Porras, David Renberg, Will Rosenthal, Carl Sion, Martha Snyder, Steve Tottleben, Timothy Tillman, Lorraine Wellington, and Gary Williamson. And if you have other names that you would like to add, please add them into our chat box so that we can together send our energies of healing to all those who need them. Page 253.
מי שברך אבותינו מקור הברכה לאמותינו, may the source of strength who blessed the ones before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mi sheberach imotenu mekor habracha leavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
Well, Shabbat Shalom, and it's lovely to have you here with us, and wonderful that we can be together in this sacred space through the airwaves. This week, Vayakel Pikudei is the name of the portion, and I want to focus on that first word that begins the parsha, because it is that Vayakel, which means to come together, to congregate, from the word kihila. And it's in the form that says, it's a verb, congregating. We should congregate together. So what does it mean when we congregate together? Well, we come together for lots of reasons. For Shabbat, for a bat mitzvah coming up, right? There you go. Right? We come together for, what do we do on Sundays? Yes. Gesher, exactly. Thank you. And we come together for lots of other reasons. We come together for happy life cycle events and for sad life cycle events and for times of celebration, for times where we need each other and times of support. And that's what this week's portion is about. It's about how we come together and how we can do that when we are in the middle of a desert. Now, hands up if we think this is a desert, right? In many ways, this year has been a desert, right? We have lacked the nourishing waters and the foods and the wonderful opportunities that we have as community to really celebrate in person. And yet we have been able to nourish ourselves in different ways. So we have in the text that has a very detailed description of how the ancient sanctuary is to be built. We have lots and lots of detail, including the menorah and all of its detail. But this year, we've had to create our own. We didn't really have much guidance. Very few sections of the Torah speak to us of how you lead Shabbat over Zoom or YouTube Live or whatever we're doing. They didn't cover that in rabbinic school for sure. As many of you who have had to change and pivot the way you do things, right? I'm sure we never thought of teaching university students via a live feed. The thought that you wouldn't see the people in person and feel that energy and be able to do that is so foreign to us. And yet, here we are. So, we had to find new ways, and it was just about a year ago, where we were faced with all of these different challenges. And we did. We figured it out. We figured out how to come together with communities, how to wear masks, how to distance ourselves, how to make sure that we are doing what we can to keep ourselves safe. And we have optimism a year later. Optimism as we see vaccination programs that will allow us to be together at least more in person. Programs that will hopefully curtail and even end the spread of the Corona-19 virus. We have a government structure now that is helping to distribute and make sure that people get that, and they are working hard to make sure that that happens as quickly as possible. So we Jews found a way for us to build a desert sanctuary 2,000 years ago. More than 2,000 years ago, actually 3,500 years ago, really. But, you know, like any event, that desert sanctuary was temporary. And over the passage of time, we have had to reinvent ourselves. And so we did it as we entered into the land of Israel, and we built temples. And we did it as we had to leave those temples and go somewhere else. And so we're going to do it again. We're going to do it again, and we have. And this week's parsha is, how do we create that sense of kihila? Because that's the essence. It's not about whether we're in a sanctuary building or we're in a beautiful space or we're here or we're there. The real commandment is how we come together. And we do that with our hearts and our spirits. And it doesn't matter if we're in person or we're not in person. We figure it out. And so Torah, which is this incredible wisdom that reaches down through the ages and hands us the key and hands us the clues and says, don't worry about the how, just worry about the what. And the what is when we are able to come together and join our voices and sing. And doing services this way is fabulous because you can sing really, really loudly at home and nobody will be there to criticize. Right? Isn't it great? You can be belting it out at home. You know, for me, I have to move the microphone away. God forbid you should hear me sing. Otherwise, Jessie, she'll give me the elbow or something. But it really is this, that is the key. The key is that we come together. And how we do that is, or what we do is the coming together. And how we do that is less important. So, wishing everybody a Shabbat Shalom. Looking forward to beautiful weather as we've had today. And lots and lots of good things as we get closer and closer to being able to do things in person. So we are going to continue with Aleinu on page 282.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגור עלינו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסד ארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים עמו, ושכינתו זו בגבהי מרומים, הוא אלוהינו אין עוד, אמת מלכנו אפזו לוטו, כך כתוב בתורתו, וידעת היום והשבות אל לבבך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל, והארץ מתחת אין עוד. ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
When cherished ties are broken and the chain of love is shattered, only trust and the strength of faith can lighten the heaviness of the heart. At times, the pain of separation seems more than we can bear. But if we dwell too long on our loss, we embitter our hearts and harm ourselves and those around us. The psalmist said that in his affliction he learned the law of God. And in truth, grief is a great teacher when it sends us back to serve and bless the living. We learn how to counsel and comfort those who, like ourselves, are bowed with sorrow. We learn to keep silent in their presence and when a word will assure them of our love and concern. And so, even when they are gone, the departed are with us, moving us to live as, in their higher moments, they themselves wish to live. We remember those now who died most recently in our congregation. Joan Harf, we're in the period of Shiva for Joan, and we extend deep condolences and love to Walter and your entire extended family. And David Kerr and Irving Kullback, and we're in the period of Shloshim for them. And we observe the following yahrzeits on this Shabbat: Hannah R. Schlesner, Alice Max Rosenbaum, Louis Rosenzweig, Kurt Robotschek, Max Sender, Joanna Kapp, J. Emerson Wolf, Sam Kimmel, Irma Seligman, Joseph Marks, Herbert Jacobs, Levi Epstein, Regina Gartner, Jeannie Prager, Libby Penn, Lola Weisberg, Bernard Baker, Nathan Strauss, Selig Levy, Max Goldstein, Abram Kleinert, Charles A. Gordon, Francine Fox, Aaron Bernstein, Isaac Levi, Sidney Sherman, May Luries, Emma Levi, Estella Phillips, Max W. Schuster, Simon Spatz, and Milton Schaffner. If you have other names that you would like to add to our list of memorial and send our thoughts and our best wishes to all who are in mourning, please add them into our chat box as we turn together to the words of Kaddish on page 294, and we rise. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, bi'alma divrach erutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chai echon u'v'yom echon u'v'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, b'agala v'zman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevorach le'olam u'larmei armaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shemei dekudsha b'richu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbachata v'nechemata, da'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama Rabbah min shamaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May God bless and protect all who are in mourning and comfort who are bereaved, and we say amen. And we're going to conclude with those very words, Oseh shalom, but in a moment we have a few announcements before we do that. First of all, services this weekend are in memory of Aaron Bernstein and Libby Penn. May their memories be for a blessing. Please join us right after services for our Zoom Oneg. I posted the link right at the very top of our services, so please join us for that, the top of the chat box. So please join us for that. Tomorrow morning at 11 a.m., join us for Torah study. Then Sunday. Guess what Sunday is, guys? Yes. And not only that, you get to get up an extra hour early. Yes, because we are putting the clocks ahead. So, yeah, we spring them ahead. And so we do that beginning 9:45 in the new time on Sunday morning. Sunday evening at 7 p.m., a special service, a healing service that will be led by members of the congregation as well as Jesse and myself, a way of coming together and expressing our thoughts and spending some time in appreciation for healing and in prayers for healing for all those who need it. On Monday, we have Schmoozing with the President. Janice Whitmer's house will be hosting a session for everybody to come and talk about all variety and talk about different topics and things that are important as we continue to develop and do new programming, etc. at Temple. And then on Tuesday, we have an incredible opportunity. We are going to be taken on a tour of the RGB exhibit that is part of the Maltz Museum, and so we'll have the opportunity to go on a tour with them of the Ruth Bader Ginsburg exhibit that has been touring the country, and it'll be a great time to really get an insight into that remarkable, remarkable woman who served as part of the Supreme Court for so many years and so beautifully. So we will conclude now with Oseh Shalom. We'll see you all at the Oneg.
Oseh shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru amen. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Stay well, stay safe. We'll see you soon.